S.B. Society. My name is Will. We're here at the World Bar, and I'm with the host of tonight's immaculate event, Fabio Schitarella. Fabio, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Will. How you doing? It's good to see you guys again.
It's always
Thank you for coming at the International Night as usual.
It's always a pleasure to be here at another one of your wonderful events. So for our new viewers, tell us a little bit more about what this event is, what it took to put it together.
Well, the International Night is basically a business networking event, and we get all these entrepreneurs, business owner, investors, and we get them over here at the World Bar, the best place in New York City to be and to meet. It's basically where Manhattan meets the world, and we get them all here under one roof. You can meet a friend, you can meet a partner, you can meet an investor, an owner. Everything happens at the World Bar, right here, this place.
So how's the market doing right now, the hospitality market in general, in terms of getting into it?
Well, you know, market, it is what it is. I mean, we always try to get the best out of everything, but I do believe that if you do give a reason to people to come back and you treat them just the way you want to be treated and provide them with memories, experiences that will continue to come back. And here you go. I mean, as you can see, all these people keeps coming back over and over and over. It's not about providing a service, but it's all about creating an experience for our guests. That's basically it. And give them something to talk about when they're going to walk out of here from the World Bar.
So we're here at the World Bar. The real entrepreneurs at NYC and Hospitality Holdings have numerous locations. How do you guys measure success?
Well, you know, Hospitality Holdings is based on hospitality. That says the name. And we always try to meet, expectations, and we always try to provide the best possible service and to treat the customers like kings and queens. Make them feel special every time they're walking through the door. I mean, you can clearly see I'm at the door hosting and welcoming each and every one of them, and that's very important. And you also saw me going behind the bar, make them a drink. This is what hospitality is all about. Got those extra mile for our wonderful customers. That's all about that. They are the reason why we're here, and that they come first than anything and anyone.
So Fabio, do you guys have another upcoming event?
Absolutely. We have a huge business networking event coming up in 2 weeks at the Empire Rooftop. We're expecting about 400 or 500 people. So stay tuned for our next event. Check Eventbrite, Facebook, Hospitality Holdings, Real Entrepreneurs of New York, upcoming events. And can't wait to see you again. And be ready to meet wonderful people of New York City.
Fabio, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Will. It's
a
pleasure to see you again.
All right.
Thank you for the interview.
S.B. Society. My name is Will. We're here at the World Bar, and I'm here with Kathi. Kathi, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
So tell us a little about yourself. What have you done in the past?
In the past, I was a Microsoft Master Instructor, and I have about 18 Microsoft certifications, and I traveled all over the country teaching people Microsoft Office applications. Companies like JP Morgan Chase, Amex, Swift, Macy's, those types of companies.
And what are you doing now? What's your current mission right now?
Right now, my current mission, I like the way you worded that. It's holistic health coach. I am a holistic health coach right now. I'm transitioning into that, and I'm very passionate about it.
And where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself helping thousands of people get healthy, thousands of people strategizing to get healthy. Oh dear.
Kathi, it's a pleasure talking to you. How can people find you on social media or your email, anything like that?
You can find me, Will, at kathysylvane@gmail.com.
Kathi, it's a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
It's often called as the greatest financial crisis in the history of the United States because it lasted 10 years and crashed the entire economy. The American leadership tried everything to save the economy, but nothing worked out. Every solution proved to be ineffective in the face of such a crisis, and the only thing that could save the economy was the deadliest war in human history. It's July of the year 1914. World War I breaks up and the entire Europe is in conflict. But the war slowly spreads to the rest of the world. Everyone is eager to win, but unfortunately, supplies are limited, especially food. So the Allies turned to the United States for help, since it wasn't directly affected by the war and had the economic power to do that. War by no means is good, but it brought a period of economic prosperity to the United States. The demand for equipment, weapons, wheat was at all-time high, and no one else could fill that gap except the US. If you were a farmer, you could produce as much wheat as you wanted and could sell it easily at a high price. Since countries with troops at the battlefield had to take any measures to win the war. By the end of the war, the US also entered the game, which further increased the demand since soldiers needed equipment and food. It was probably the best time to invest since the economy was booming and everyone was making money. Even though that the war has ended by 1918, the demand for American goods, especially wheat, didn't fall because the entire world was still recovering. When farmers realized that, they began taking huge loans to buy more land and equipment to farm more wheat, which led the real estate prices to grow. That pushed people to buy even more lands, hoping to sell it later for a higher price. The same thing was happening to every other industry. In fact, many companies emerged that only existed on paper but didn't even have the equipment or land because everyone was throwing money into the stock market hoping to make a fortune, which further escalated prices. Would you really stand aside and watch how your neighbors make money while you get nothing? Even foreign countries started investing in the United States hoping to make a buck. I guess you can already see the flaw. Many companies were overpriced since most of these investments were based on speculations. Nonetheless, that didn't stop people from investing. People had faith in the economy. When things are good, you start thinking that it's going to be like that forever. What seems so obvious today wasn't that obvious then. The Europe started recovering. The demand for American goods fell, especially for wheat, since other countries began to grow their wheat as well. In August of 1929, France and Italy were bragging of a magnificent harvest, while the US had millions of bushels of wheat on the shelves that they couldn't sell. This oversupply threatened to drive the prices down. It caused a little panic in the stock market, but nothing really significant. A month later, the wheat prices really decreased from $1.49 per bushel to $1.39 because of the oversupply. It was devastating news. The stock market plummeted. People got frightened and began to sell their stocks to cash out before the stock market declines further. That only made the situation worse, crushing the market even more. That day, October 29th, went down in history as Black Tuesday. However, that was just the beginning. Since wheat prices were falling, farmers couldn't pay back their debt. That created pressure on the banks. The panic has already spread to the entire country, and all what people cared about was cash. So they rushed to the banks for their savings. Fortunately, banks couldn't pay them back because the borrowers weren't able to pay the banks back, so they had to shut down one after another. In just 10 months, 744 banks failed. It didn't matter whether you had a good or a bad business. People lost faith in the market, and all what mattered was to minimize the losses. As a result of that, even good, legit businesses started declaring bankruptcies. The news quickly spread to Europe and caused panic over there, since many European countries have invested heavily in the United States. The panic caused the same thing over there, and soon the entire world was facing a Great Depression. Although this crisis happened almost 100 years ago, financial crises in general are pretty similar, including the dot-com bubble and the 2008 crash. And the next global recession is going to take place in a very similar way. Nobody really knows for sure how and when exactly it's going to start, but we have multiple bubbles that are big enough to burst at any moment, such as student loans, healthcare, and most importantly, the stock market itself. Since the last crisis, S&P 500 has increased dramatically. This growth is definitely unsustainable, and when it crashes, it's going to create a panic that's simply going to make things much worse. You can't really avoid the recession because the world economy is so interconnected and dependent on each other that a crisis in the largest economy in the world will take down the rest of the world with it. But the recession isn't going to be forever. It might last a year, maybe 2, maybe 5, but eventually it will recover. Just a year after the 2008 crash, in 2009, the S&P 500 increased by 26.5%. So don't panic and sell your investments when the media will be shouting all over the place that if you won't sell now, you are going to lose every damn penny you have invested. Of course, some companies won't survive the crisis and go bankrupt, as it happens in every other crisis. But if you are an investor in an index fund, for example, you should be fine. You probably will lose your job because companies will start cutting costs in order to survive. So if you're not vital to their survival, you might be unemployed. So make sure you have some savings on the side. But the smartest investors will start investing heavily because prices will be at their lowest point, and once the economy recovers, they will be much wealthier. And that's another reason why the rich get richer. The topic of the global recession never ends. That's why the media started talking about it even before the last crisis ended. But this video has to. So, thanks for watching, and until next time.
S.B.S. Society. My name is Wil Rampersaud. We're here at the World Bar, and I have with me the one and only Alex Carini. Alex, thank you for coming here and being with us today.
Thank you for having me. You're very kind.
Alex, so we had you on the show last time, but for our previous viewers, tell us a little bit more about what you do again.
Absolutely. So I own one of the fastest growing real estate brokerage company in New York City, and we deal with sales, rentals, and also property management of real estate on the residential and commercial side in New York City, Manhattan, Brooklyn, and the main boroughs.
So you've been around the city, you've been established for a while. How's the market doing right now?
It's a very particular market, a fun one. This is the first time in 2 years where it's actually a creative market. I would say it's certainly a buyer's market. If you're looking for a deal, it might be one of the best time to look in right now, especially in Manhattan and Brooklyn. And if you are able to structure the right deal, certainly there is a lot to do at this time. And we have clients that are really taking advantage of it, and I'm having a lot of fun.
So, since the market is doing so well right now, what's some advice you can give someone who's looking to get into the real estate market?
It's a very competitive market. I would say the first thing is to work with somebody that you really respect and try to find mentorship, because that's going to save you so many mistakes that you can make in the career, and it's going to really jumpstart your career. I wish I had done more of that when I started my career, but that would be my number one advice. You're going to grow much quickly, and I think it's much beneficial for you. We're actually looking to hire real estate agents at this time, so if anybody's interested in enjoying and getting jump-starting real estate, we'd love to talk.
So since you've been around so long as well, what has been the most satisfying moment in your career?
The most satisfying moment is really when you're able to put people together. We work with a lot of families that find a new home, investors that are looking to hit certain parameters and do their investment and move on. So I always think of my business not in terms of monetary business. I think of being able to help people in what they're doing, and that is what gives us satisfaction. So those are the best moments, because if you think that way in the long term, success will just come. Service your clients. We're in the service business.
And how do you guys measure success? How do you measure success? Like, what are some values that your company upholds to measure that?
Absolutely. Success to me is to be able to do what you do at any given time, and hopefully it's also what you like, which is very hard to combine all three. Our company it's a very boutique, luxury-oriented company, and we hold a confidential business, and we act more as wealth advisors for real estate for our clientele. So we specialize more of consultancy services versus other mainstream brokerages that are more in the in and out business. So we're more tailored and custom made, like a nice suit.
And how can people find a little bit more about your business online or on social media?
We are all over the internet. If you Google my name, Alex Carini, it's all over. Carini Group, the company, it's also all over. Instagram. I think social media is so important right now. Facebook, LinkedIn, and we also try to connect people in our network, even if they're not looking for real estate. So we try to give them content, also about entrepreneurship, also about things that they gravitate around. And so definitely connect with us on any social media.
And just going based off marketing and social media, have you guys had any difficult time with the marketing? Is there any failures that your company has endured along the lines, and how did you overcome that?
Absolutely. Failure, yes, of course. The truth is we fail every day, because you take risk and you take a lot of work every day. And I came to think, related also to the question of success before, it's about being able to overcome failure versus being at the top of your game every day. You're not going to be at the top of your game every day, but if you're able to come back from failure, I'll give you an example. Last week, I lost a $16 million deal. The next day, I felt like I was run by a truck, right? However, the quickest that you get back to that, a lot of the time you say, I had a very bad week. You didn't have a bad week, you had a bad day. You let it affect you for 1 week. So if you're able to jump back from there and understand that it's how you react to the negative moments versus how well you do in the good moments, that's when a champion it is.
So personally, how do you keep motivating yourself? What are some things that you do to keep yourself going? Is it any extracurricular hobbies that you have, or do you have a role model or a mentor that you seek advice from?
Yes, I think motivation comes from fear mainly. So you have to find what you're fearful of, what you have your back against. My fear is to live my life and not to have used it to my full potential. Okay, so the way I keep myself self-motivated all the time is to issue new goals and always try to reach new heights. And I think if I do that, I will live life on purpose. And when I reach every single goal and hopefully surpass it, I feel satisfied. And that is my recipe for my personal success. I think everybody should find their own self-motivation based on their fear and what they want to achieve in life.
And what about 5 years from now? How do you see yourself and your company looking 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I think we are expanding in Miami, in the Miami market. Next is going to be London. So Miami, New York, and London, and Los Angeles. And then we are also getting into the development side of the business, which is going to be offering great projects also for equity, so people that want to pitch in and be part of projects in all these markets. So brokerage and development.
Alex, well, we hope to see you out in Miami and London and be able to get a chance to interview you over there as well.
Of course.
It's a pleasure.
My pleasure. I'd love to see you soon.
All right, thank you. And we're out.
There's a new study coming out about meditation almost every week, touting its benefits. But how does this ancient technique really work? We need to look at a few physiological processes to understand why meditation is so great for us. First, when we meditate, there are changes in our brain wave patterns. Depending on our state, that is, if we are asleep or awake, the brain creates waves based on its activity that can be measured on an EEG. A simple 20-minute meditation session will start to transition the brainwaves from beta or alpha to a theta state. Meditation has also been known to slow the rate at which our hearts pump blood and the rate we breathe. These slowed states of physiological functioning are associated with a reduction in stress. In brief, a fast heart rate and quick, shallow breathing causes a cascade of stress response actions in our bodies, like pumping out more stress hormones, like cortisol. Cortisol is linked with heart disease, depression, poor gut health, and more. So, meditation indirectly lowers stress, which makes us healthier. The next thing that happens when we meditate is that we stop running from the subconscious thoughts that are secretly running our lives. As we sit and focus on our breathing or consciously observe the thoughts that arise without judgment, we can mindfully experience our deeply held emotions and beliefs. Often, we're reacting to life instead of acting out of the present moment. Meditation allows a small gap between the stress response, that fight or flight mechanism which causes us to fear every situation and react to it, instead of empowering us with a feeling of strength and calm. When was the last time you reacted to a stressful situation with a peaceful feeling that everything would be okay? Most of us simply run around trying to put out fires, or run from them as fast as we can. Meditation reduces our physiological stress so that we can handle mental and emotional stress with more acumen. Athletes train their muscles to perform better under stress. You can think of meditation like training your mind. The next time you get caught in traffic, you run late for an appointment, or someone does something to hurt your feelings, you'll be able to act in the present moment instead of reacting to stored fears and emotions lingering just below the surface. You'll be as strong in your mind as that champion boxer is in his body, only you won't need to fight.
S.B.S Society, my name is Will. We're here at the World Bar, and I'm here with Shelly. Shelly, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. It's such great pleasure to be here.
So tell us a little bit more about what you do.
I just become a real estate agent in New York City. Recently, I quit my corporate job about a month ago, and I'm loving what I do at the moment. I just closed 7 deals over the past month, which I'm super psyched about, and we'll see what the future holds.
So what did you do in the past to lead you along that?
I was a tax consultant doing a lot of data technology related work. I did it for about 3 years, and I did not like it. It was a lot of hours, lots of stress. I was not feeling myself. So I decided to quit and to embrace the career that I'm in love with.
And so what's the plan for the future?
I want to expand my business. I want to be the real estate girl in New York City and, you know, the go-to person for real estate consulting, whether it's sales, buying, selling, rentals, everything. And I do it in Manhattan, Jersey City, Long Island City, and Brooklyn.
And how can people find you on social media?
So you can follow me on Instagram. It's Girl in Real Estate NYC. No spaces. Girl in Real Estate NYC.
It was a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much, Shelly.